Great.
Yes.
Morning, everyone. Hi,
Good
Anna.
afternoon.
It's afternoon for Anna, morning for me. Welcome to our next live today. And we'll start right off with letting Anna introduce herself. Anna, you go ahead.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Anna Thellmann. I'm an intimacy expert and relationship advisor. And as you can see, sometimes I don't know how to say words because it's just what it is. And I'm okay with it. I help women to get their emotional and physical orgasm back. So I help them to get back to where they've been at the beginning in their relationship, to get their back. You see, it doesn't make sense what I'm saying today.
Your mouth hasn't woken up yet.
all day. I feel like my brain isn't catching up with my tongue or the other way around.
It's all right.
You know.
We'll get there. My name is Tracy Kimberg, and I am a relationship expert. I help couples find out what they are doing wrong in their relationship so that they can have a more fulfilling, connected relationship with one another that will actually last a lifetime. I met Anna online, and we've never met before in person, but we need to make that happen, Anna. It's time. We need to arrange something. It's definitely time that we met in person.
Yes, I agree.
Today's subject is my choice. So, in the UK, for those of you that are not in the Northern Hemisphere, in the UK, we are hitting spring. So I thought, why not choose a subject related to that? And my subject is get your sex life out of hibernation. How can we help you get your sex life out of hibernation and put a little bit of spring into your intimacy life? So, Anna, I'll let you fall in. I'm going to throw you in the deep end, and you can start off by sharing your thoughts on that subject.
Yeah, my first thought was like, why is it in hibernation in the first place? What's happening there? Because and from my personal experience, because I talked to a friend a couple of days ago, and her and her partner, they don't have sex that often. And when I say that, I mean they're having once or twice a month. With, I think, if that's okay for you, fine. There is no limit to how often or how little sex you should have a month. But for her, she said that she's now getting or starting menopause. So she just can't be asked. And luckily, her partner at the time, or her partner currently, he can't be asked either because he has so much to do at work and he can't be asked to do anything when he's at home, or on the weekend he wants to have just like peace and quiet. And their sex life, if you could say that, will go into hibernation. I'm under the impression is she tells herself, oh, I'm in menopause now. Now this is what is going to happen.
Yes.
And I'm under the belief that if you tell yourself stuff, you believe it. And that's how your body will react to it. And for her, it's now like, yeah, I have no good reason why I don't want sex, why I don't have sex. And this is my go-to reason for the next couple of years, probably. And maybe later she will tell herself, I'm out of menopause, but it's very common that women still don't want to have sex.
Yeah.
So it's this ongoing, I don't want to call it a lie, because there are, of course, statistics and research and whatever that women have less need or want for sex, but it doesn't mean that it goes away. And it doesn't mean that. What did you say?
I said exactly. That's so true. I think it's also important to touch on the fact that even a little bit of sex that you do have in the situation that you're describing now, it's important to make it good sex. And not just go through the motions. But how do we do that? How do we bring our intimacy alive in our relationship again. When you are in a long-term relationship, it can become monotonous, and you don't really make an effort for it. You don't really go to as much trouble. But in general, I want to talk today a bit about ideas that we can share with you, things that might work, things that you can try, and liven up your intimacy. And
Yeah.
see how, as those little buds start pushing through the ground like spring, the little things that you try, how it actually flows into the rest of your relationship and makes you almost fall in love. I heard a very um, interesting thing on one of the podcasts I was listening to this week, which said that you actually fall in love with your partner 10 times in your life, 10 times in your relationship. And that means that at each phase that you go through, which I love this idea, each phase that you go through in your relationship or each hurdle that you reach, say now for a long-term relationship of, I mean, my in-laws are celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. Can you imagine being married for 50 years with one person?
Yeah.
They say that you fall in love 10 times. So something happens, you fall out of love, and you need to fall back in love to stay on track in your relationship. So I think intimacy is such an important part of that. And it's not just the sex. It's how do you stay intimately connected to your partner so that you can stay in love with them until you're married for 50, 60 years or together. You don't even have to be married, just together.
Yeah.
Um, for me, the important thing is to never stop listening. Never stop listening to your partner. Um, I think a lot of couples, when they are in the cycle of life, doing life together, they just go through the motions. It almost becomes like a wind-up toy that you wind up every morning. And you just do your thing like a wind-up toy. Ding, 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 ding. And at night, ding, 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 ding. And you go to bed. And then the next morning you wind yourself up again and then ding, 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 and you come. There's no actual difference. Every day looks exactly the same. And I think when you make time, those 10, 20 minutes a day to really listen to your partner and sit opposite your partner and they listen to you, that is how intimacy starts, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I would say it doesn't even have to be 10 or 20 minutes, because I know for my relationship, sometimes I just have nothing to say, or I just can't be asked to listen or to talk. So I would say that's okay as well, whatever, but don't let it slide again. Because when you start it, it's amazing. And I have clients that what we tried is to just have these 5 minutes, even if it's 3 minutes, talk about your emotions, because emotional intimacy is a big part in a relationship, as we know. But they just talk about how did they feel in the morning, during lunchtime, and in the evening. Just like, how was your day emotional wise? And they share that, and that's okay. But
Yes.
it's this keeping in touch, staying connected, listening, and sharing.
Definitely.
That's the meaning, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, I highly recommend these conversation cards. I have them here today. They are from the Diary of a CEO. Oh, let me just put it in front of the camera. The Diary of a CEO conversation cards from Stephen Bartlett to my couples. And sometimes for couples, like you say, I just don't know what to say. Sometimes just playing together. This is my next tip, is playing together. Play together, and that causes you to actually see a side of your partner that you might have missed.
Mm.
You laugh, where you have fun, where you talk about deep questions. So, an intimate question that, well, these cards have got various grades of intimate questions. Okay. So, this question, Anna, for instance, is, when do you feel the most emotionally connected to yourself?
Oh.
So, this is one of the questions. I'll read another one, and it says, what have you done recently for someone else?
Mm.
So the questions are beautiful questions, and it creates this space where you can talk about something that you don't usually talk about, because that's another thing about long-term relationships is your subjects become repetitive a lot of
Mm.
the time. So getting prompts, playing games, playing card games. I love these conversation cards. Esther Perel also has one called Where Shall We Begin, which is a set of cards, a board game. And I have those ones as well. Yes.
So, because I got these when Dirk, my partner, and I, we got into quarantine when we returned from Germany 2 years ago. And it's just, what it says is, what I love about you. And it's just questions about, like, if I would pick one, it says, what was your first impression of me? So it's all about the couple. About
Yes,
yeah.
exactly, Anna.
So
And doing
yeah.
things like this, it creates new conversation. And this is
Mm.
also one of the things that I teach my clients, is to constantly build that love map, because we are constantly evolving as people,
Yeah.
changing. I'm definitely not the person I was 10 years ago. Neither is my partner, not even 5 years ago. We're
Mm.
constantly changing. And when you have these prompts to actually talk about subjects that randomly come up, it makes you see and get to know your partner better, and create
Mm.
this connection, and you actually feel quite intimate when you have these conversations, doesn't it? It feels really like, wow, that was nice to hear, and it feels really like you're connecting.
The thing is, because when I did it, when we played it, there were questions like, would you rather, I don't remember what it was, the topic, but it was something rather me or something else. And he said something else, and I was like, why? I mean, I would never choose that. Why would you? I would always choose it. But in the first instance, it was very hurtful, and it took me by surprise, and it took me aback. It was like, what? But if you then have the courage and the patience and the willingness to continue the conversation and find out what is the reason behind all of that, which,
Exactly.
yeah, then you find out that you have totally different impression of the same thing. That's what we discovered, that his idea of, I think it was loyalty, is a totally different to my idea of loyalty. So that's
Yeah.
why we did or would pick differently. And
Yes.
so what I want to say is to just give it time, be curious, and stay open in that conversation. Don't take it personally, because I think that could be a downfall for some questions.
Exactly. I mean, we
Mm.
all fall into the trap of the four horsemen, don't we? Which is criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling. So when you play these games, like you say, take your guard down, be
Mm.
vulnerable, and be willing to share, and be willing to listen, and be patient. So the
Mm.
next one I have is time. And this is so important to me, because we are so busy on that wind up toy life that we live. I think it is vitally important to schedule in time for intimacy, not only sex, but intimacy, where you can feel connected to your partner, whether it's going on a date, going on a walk with your dogs, um, doing something together, just the two of you, where you can talk, playing a game or something. Schedule the time, make the time, and don't just say, I'm too busy, because you have to nurture that plant. You have to nurture that relationship, and it takes time. Time is, I think, the fertilizer to intimacy.
Yes. And what jumps into my head immediately is, again, it's the quality of the time and not the quantity. It doesn't mean you need to spend 3-4 hours every week doing something spectacular. It's just really, you can go on a walk, you can just have dinner together at home and talk to each other and connect in that way. So it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be time consuming in that sense. It just has to have quality.
Yes. And then my next one, what's our time? Let me just see. Where are we now? 16 minutes. So we still got time. My next one is curiosity. And this is the point where I would say be curious as to what your partner sees as a connection. It's not always what you think it is. It's not what you think it is. Your partner has their own love language. And be curious to find out whether it's what they want from you to feel connected. It changes. We're not always the same, in the same mood, in the same frame of mind. We don't always have the same energy. So whether it's sitting on the sofa together with your feet on your partner's lap, or having a back rub, or going for a meal, or having a massage, or making slow, intimate love with each other. What is your partner's need for the level of intimacy that they need in that moment? And ask those questions. I mean, I don't know if you would agree with me, Anna, but I think sometimes we are scared of rejection in that moment as humans, and this is why we don't ask for it. We scared the answer is no. But be curious and be willing. I think curiosity and willingness isn't it? I think they probably hold hands in this instance. What do you think?
Yeah, I would also say it's embarrassment that holds us back, because we're just afraid of, if we have this wish and the other person doesn't deem it as that's a good one, it's that embarrassment that comes with it. And particularly, I've noticed that from you, Brits. You have that a lot about many things, but everyone has that in some respect. But what you also said is, ask your partner what they need in the moment. And I think that's a very, very important reminder to, it can change. It's not the same tomorrow. It's today. It might be again next month, but it can change. And even in the moment, even 5 seconds later, the need can change. That doesn't mean you have to be on the lookout for, what is the change?
Yes.
There are sometimes pretty obvious clues. And when you notice those, just check in. And it has nothing to do with you personally. That's where we come back to the emotions.
Yes, definitely. I also think I'm bringing us to my next point is observe. Be observant. Be observant for cues from your partner. Be observant, and this goes straight from the look on their face when they get back from work. If you see that they're a bit off, if you see they look tired, if you see they look stressed, observe those cues and respond to them. It makes your partner feel like they are actually seen by you and that you care. And be careful how you respond. Not just saying, oh my gosh, are you in a mood again?
Yeah.
Are you in a mood again? Or something like that. Oh my gosh. Maybe give us a smile instead or something like that. No.
No.
be curious and observant as to what's going on for your partner, and to carry it through to in the bedroom, um, when you are making love with your partner, or and you are going through the steps of foreplay and arousal and eventually an orgasm. It is about, I think, really listening and observe your partner's response, because that in itself is quite sexy. And, being so present in that moment during intimacy, sexual intimacy, that you give your partner feedback as to what you're observing. It makes your partner also be aware of that you're noticing, and that you're experiencing the whole thing, not only just focused on yourself. It's a very helpful cue during intimacy. Let's hear what Anna's tip is with that.
Yeah, just what popped into my head was like,
I saw you go. Ooh,
yeah, when they learn what you like, because depending on, I mean, don't fake it. We probably all have been there and faked orgasms once or twice in our lives. I know that I've done it. That's never a good idea. But if you show your partner your true feelings, emotions in that sense, to like when you enjoy it, you don't have to communicate, you don't have to say stuff. But what's the English word is that? Just verbalize it just verbalize it in some way, make it known that you enjoy it, and your partner will get it. They will learn to I don't want to say how to handle you better, because that sounds like a
Well, I think it's about they will observe the cues that you give, and your ability to have great intimacy or sexual intimacy is partly your responsibility.
Definitely.
You cannot expect to have fantastic sexual intimacy if you're not guiding your partner. You cannot, because they can't read your mind. Yes, they can observe the cues or your responses, but you also need to guide your partner. And if you think of, right, our sex has become a bit boring, and you want to bring a bit of spring into your sex life, maybe just try and be more vocal. It doesn't have to, like Anna says, be okay, I want you to do this right now, and this and this. But there's also no problem with that, saying softer, or higher, lower, whatever it is you want to say, or or just take the hand, move it to where you want them to touch you or stroke you, and ask, is that good or isn't that good? And listen to your partner's response, or watch their response. And you never know how that will maybe put a bit of excitement in the bedroom, and so you'll see these new experiences start happening, which is what intimacy is all about, isn't it?
Yes, beautifully said.
Yeah. So Anna, I'm going to let you give your own one or two tips. We've still got 5 minutes left, so I think you could get through 2. What do you think?
Well, I start with one.
Okay.
And mine would be, use your thoughts, because I find it working with clients that they put in their head that, no, I'm not in the mood. Oh, I have so much to do. So it starts there. Start having this exciting moment, this exciting intimacy. It doesn't matter if it's physical or emotional. Have it in your thoughts. Start there. Start it by playing it through. Particularly when it's physical, you can put all the memories from past experiences and put it into this fantasy. And then but ask your partner to play it out. Or you just get to that excitement, to that stage where, yeah, everything is forgotten on the to-do list. He's here now, she's here now, let's do this.
Yes.
So, but mine would be use your thoughts as the first instance, because they are always with you. You can use them at any time, and you can have whatever you want in them, in your thoughts, in your fantasies. So
Exactly.
it's the ideal playground. But be careful not to go into the negativity, into like when we discussed all of these tips to, oh my God, if I say this, then they will react like that.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's about, and even if they do, don't let that bring you into a downward spiral.
yeah.
You know, be accepting, I think, of how it goes. Be accepting anything's okay, because it is an intimate space and it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't have this expectation of, oh my gosh, this is going to be like the most perfect experience ever. Just let it go the way it goes, and have that acceptance, and um, you know, just be okay with whatever happens.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the second one, I was thinking about to get the Kama Sutra.
Oh,
Mm.
I like that idea.
Yeah, there's the Kama Sutra. There are also many games about sexuality, in particular about sex, about intercourse, about new positions, different position things to do. But the easiest, because the Kama Sutra you get everywhere for free. Just download the Kama Sutra and just go through positions, say 3 positions per intercourse, and see
Yeah,
what happens.
but that
It's,
is another game, isn't it? So,
yeah.
you know, just have fun and don't make it so serious, because when it's fun, you want to do it more.
Yeah.
You know, when you're telling yourself it's my obligation, or I've got to do it now, or something like that, that's not fun.
Mm.
You know, and I love the idea of the Kama Sutra, because that's something that fascinated us as students, you know, when we became sexually active back in the day when we were in our 20s. Then, you know, that was like, oh, let's have a look and see all these positions. But you forget about all these fun things that you can actually
Mm.
bring into your intimate life, and just enjoy it and have fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just don't dislocate your hip, or
Yeah, there are some positions where you think, how does this work?
exactly. Oh dear, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so Anna, I think putting the spring back into our intimate life is something that we can do all year round.
Mm.
We don't have to only wait for post winter, after we've been sitting around in our pajamas and our thick socks and um, dressing gowns, hiding our bodies away from our partners because we're cold. Um, we can always breathe a bit of life into our intimacy, and make it happen, make it alive, make it grow, make it fun.
Mm.
Um, it's our, it's up to us, isn't it?
Yes, it's your responsibility. It's not your partner's. They, like you said before, it's their responsibility, but it's your responsibility as well. So don't
Yes,
make it blame or shame someone else for not having the sex life, the intimate life, physically and emotionally, that you want. And if
exactly.
you need help, Tracy and I, we're your to go.
Yes, definitely. And if anybody that's listening today um, feels triggered or needs help in this area, please reach out to Anna and I. We'd love to support and help you through it, so that you can breathe a bit of life into your intimate life. It would be, it's it's doable, isn't it,
Mm.
Anna? It's very, very doable.
It is. Beautiful last words.
Yes. Well, thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next month.
Yes, see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.